That was truly almost a 1-for-1.
Yeah. 40 feels like a landmark episode, too.
Yeah, 40 is a big number.
It's not 50 yet, but it's like...
It's basically a year.
Yeah.
Basically a year of the podcast. So, yes, I just got back from D.C. I had a fantastic trip. I actually really like D.C. I like the architecture. I like the way the city is broken down and the way it looks and the cool different neighborhoods. And, like, all the monuments are kind of just popping up around when you're driving around. You see them. It's pretty cool. Obviously, the men there are pussy bitch boys.
Yeah.
Everyone's such a lame...
It's like 99% Democrat or something like unfathomable.
It's some dummy thing. You'd think, like, there'd be a chunk of Trump supporters because half the people
they have to live somewhere. They have to, like...
There's, like, Republicans and Democrats, but no, it's just Democrats. But all the guys have, like, skinny arms. I saw a fat guy with Birkenstocks and painted toes. It was just, let's see under those socks. It was just really embarrassing for the men in D.C. So I think we're going to be heading up to D.C. more, and we're going to be doing Man in the Street and stuff. So we're going to be heading up to D.C. We're going to be doing more street videos out of D.C. just because it's so ripe for the pickings.
Yeah.
Everyone's got a mask. Everyone's arms are skinny. Everyone's neck is skinny. The guys are such losers. It's so embarrassing.
Well, a lot of those D.C. types, it's like they have a real job. They have a real thing. They are part of society, but then they're screaming. Like Portland, you go to Portland or Seattle, it's like they're militant. They're mean.
They're not up to anything else.
You go to Chicago. Exactly. You go to Chicago, it's like, oh, this is a little darker, a little angrier, more of a mob, you know?
Absolutely. So I took a flight there, a couple flights, obviously, to go to D.C. and back. And I've noticed something on flights lately. I've been on like 4 flights in the last 10 where there's been like 1 or 2 open seats in the entire plane, and they're next to me. So I've had some fantastic luck, and it makes me wonder...
What you're not seeing.
Is there some sort of like fat fuck stewardess database where they write down like, oh, this guy, you know, he's a problem for most people. If there's ever an empty seat on a plane, let's put it next to him. And you are familiar with airlines and how they work, kind of.
Yeah, so they don't. They don't have anything like that. But what you're probably seeing is a result. It's like someone sees 28D. They do the mental math. They're at row 24. They go 28D. Uh-oh. They see where they're at. They see the fat guy in the hoodie. And then they end up tapping the... stewardess on the shoulder and going like, anything else? Anything open? Emergency exit row?
I don't think it's that bad yet. I don't think we're at that point. I think what happens before we get to that point is they start handing me the buckle extender.
Yeah, before you even ask for it.
Yeah, they try to sneak it to me.
You don't need that, right? Obviously.
No, not even close. Not even close. I'm fitting fine. I'm a window seat guy.
Me too.
I always request the window seat, and I kind of just jam myself in.
Yourself in, nook to sleep in, and you never have to get up for anyone.
And I roll kind of into the window, so the person in the middle, you think you have a disaster flight next to me. No. It's actually better. You have the entire armrest, and I'm not even near you.
Middle person gets both armrests.
Middle person's not that bad.
Well, if they're respected.
You can't sleep, if they're
disrespected, middle seat, you're in trouble.
And then, there's times, too, with the window seat, which it's either good or bad. Sometimes the way the plane is shaped, like the window has a little indent, and it goes in and out, in and out. If you line up with the window and there's like the indent thing is on you and it kind of pushes you out.
Yeah.
And it actually makes the seat smaller.
It's not a consistent window positioning.
So there's sometimes where I'm in the window seat and I have like a little indent and I'm like leaning in and I have like a little nook in there. Mm-hmm. There's other times where I'm getting the ebb and flow. I'm getting the ebb, I guess, and it's pushing me out. So it's not always pleasant, but it's worth it.
You want to know what the best economy seat is?
Mm-mm.
It's
yes.
All right, moving on.
I thought you meant, do you know what the best economy seat is?
The best economy seat is like either aisle or window of the last row of the emergency exit row, because you get the extra leg room for the emergency exit row, and you can still recline.
And if the plane needs help, you can help.
You're able-bodied.
Yeah.
But some people don't know that if you are the row that's backing up to an emergency row, like an emergency exit seat, you can't recline. There's no movement.
Interesting.
Because they're like, we don't want you to obstruct it. You know
Makes sense. Another hidden bad seat is any first row. So if you're in first class in row 1, you have no under seat storage. Yeah. And if you're in the first row of regular class, the same thing. There's no seat in front of you to put your backpack. So then you're kind of jammed. So that's good to know. There was one time on the way back from El Paso where it was me and 2 other guys. It was like a small plane. And it was like me and 2 other guys, and the other 2 guys were even bigger than me.
No.
And we were all like this on the plane. and people were laughing, and one guy came in and took a picture of us, and I was
The tail scraped on takeoff.
But they took a picture of us, and that wasn't even bad. Everyone, like, the whole plane had like a nice laugh about it.
That's
it was
hilarious.
actually pretty cool. But something actually really, I don't want to say really bad, because, you know, worse things can happen on a plane. But something very bad happened to me on the plane ride back from DC. Before I got on the plane, when I was in the airport, I paid to rent The Talented Mr. Ripley for $3.99 off of YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And I downloaded it with the Wi-Fi because I was like, you know, when the Wi-Fi goes on and off in the plane, I don't want to deal with that. I just want to watch my movie.
Yeah.
Then the plane takes off, and like 5 minutes later, it's buffering. It's loading.
The Talented Mr. Ripley, turns out, was not downloaded.
Yeah. I thought I downloaded this. It says 100% downloaded. And I tried to avoid the Wi-Fi cutout, and now I'm buffering. Why am I buffering if I already downloaded the video?
I think you botched it or something. I don't know.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So
you're counting on that on-flight entertainment. And all of a sudden
And I was planning ahead. I did the right thing. I had my phone charged. I was all ready to go. And now I'm buffering. Now I'm buffering Matt Damon thrillers from 15 years ago for some reason. It's weird. Weird.
Answer us, American Airlines.
Yeah.
What happened?
I want answers from American Airlines, maybe YouTube. Obviously, we hosted on our show on YouTube, so we're going to keep doing that. So, but if there's someone from YouTube watching who can reach out and kind of tell me what happened, I need to know.
You know what I think
that
is
ruined
funny?
my trip. It stuck with me.
That's bad.
Yeah.
That's like right underneath getting your flight canceled till the next day and having to stay in a hotel.
Mm-hmm.
YouTube, funnily enough, just speaking in terms of like, you know, YouTube, the company and stuff, obviously YouTube doesn't love us, you know, this kind of show, this kind of information.
I'm also suing them on a class action lawsuit with President Trump.
But, you know, YouTube, like everybody gets their 100K button. Everybody gets their 500K, like, dude, 1 million subs. I got the silver. I got the gold. I got the this. Fleckus
They never sent me one.
has over 500,000 subscribers, never has been sent anything.
No one's even reached out. In fact, they were like, we're actually removing you from the partnership program. So it's the opposite. They're taking stuff away.
So yeah, F that, dude. YouTube, asleep at the wheel. Obviously haters.
If I download the movie, it's to avoid Wi-Fi cutouts. The Wi-Fi cuts out, the movie downloaded. Oh, it didn't download. Feels stupid. While I'm waiting to load, it's all pixelated, and that feels dumb.
You never found out what happened to Mr. Ripley or how talented he was.
It took me 4 hours to watch a 2-hour movie, basically, is what happened. Over 2 days, I had to watch it, too. So, yeah, that's what you get for planning ahead, I guess. Moving on. While I was gone, Richard Rapway got into a conflict.
I can see where this is going. There's only a couple assets left in this.
Apparently, you chased some people down at the beach.
let's let it play.
This music will be cut out for copyright reasons. There's a Beach Boys song playing. But yeah, Richard Rapway, obviously you can see right here, chasing some people off at the beach, a whole crowd of people. They were scared of you.
Yeah.
You're a big guy.
Thank you.
What was it about?
They were in my turf. This is too many humans for me.
Got a little too close.
Yeah, got a little too close. I was
Spooked
looking to bite.
Spooked ya.
Yeah.
All right. We're still on housekeeping. Let's see. What's next? Guys, blood clots are happening a lot lately. Here's an article that came out. One of people's favorite drinks could be causing blood clots. It's black tea. You know, black tea, like just iced tea like you would drink?
Yeah.
Everyone's been drinking it for like hundreds of years.
Thousands.
Yeah. So apparently it's causing blood clots and no one knew. There's also another article that came out. Don't worry, this has all been fact checked. There's a fact check button on this next article. Certain sleeping positions can cause blood clots and heart attacks.
Yeah.
So guys, just be very careful out there. There's a lot of blood clots and heart attacks happening because of the way we drink black tea and from sleeping.
Yeah.
These are two things that we have, that people just have started doing in the last year or so,
Seemingly
2 years.
innocuous things that are just the death sentence. So please watch out.
Yes.
Sleeping, black tea.
Sleeping and drinking tea. If you've been doing those two things, you're at risk of blood clots. Don't worry. I feel like 65% of you guys are probably safe.
Yeah. That's my hunch.
That's my hunch as well. All right, moving on. We have a little bit of a mini section. So in housekeeping, we have our housekeeping. Then we're going to have a summer fails section of housekeeping. But within that, there's like a little micro section, kind of like a where are they now?
Yeah.
a Fleckus Talks alum. Where are they now? As you guys may remember, the Donald Trump is worse than Hitler girl, an all-time fave, a first-round pick in any sort of resist draft.
Yeah.
If you were to have like a resist draft with all your favorite protesters, she would be. She's
up there.
She's top 5.
She's got good branding too.
She's got really good branding, unique voice,
and she owns a megaphone.
And owns a megaphone.
So that's what separates her from the pack. She owns a megaphone. She purchased that from Amazon, probably.
Top five. So this is her. This is what she's up to now. She's still in LA, and she was doing some sort of satanic blood ritual. It looks like she's covered in hopefully fake blood. Covered the steps in blood too, and she's very upset that it's not easy to murder the unborn.
Whoa!
So she's doing a little bit of a blood ritual thing.
Congrats she'll go any which way. Any Democrat issue, she'll be there.
Yeah, she'll be there.
So
they probably pay her to show up. She's
a
hitter. That's what you call a hitter.
Yeah.
That's what you wave in if you have, if you need a little bit of a protest rally, get some people together.
Yeah.
Get her with the megaphone leading the way.
Megaphone is huge. There
was one time in LA when I was just walking around. I think I was with you.
Okay.
When you visited me, went to that pizza place. I remember we were walking down back to my apartment, and we saw that fat guy Bo at the bus stop.
Yeah.
And I was like, Bo, like
he's like a protest regular.
He's a protest regular. He was the guy
the bearded guy, right?
The bearded guy, fat guy. He was the guy in the Breitbart protest where he like complained about Trump forever. And then I said, "Oh, okay. So who did you vote for?" And he goes, "I didn't vote." So we saw him at the bus stop one time, just as like a regular person. I'm like, Bo, like, what's up? And he's like trying to get all mad at me, but it's like, dude, it's like seeing your coworker outside of work or like your teacher at the grocery store. I was like, what's up? So that was
just
great.
Taking public transit.
So Donald Trump is worse than Hitler girl is staying busy. We miss you. We hope you're doing well. We love you. Keep up the good work. If I ever get back to LA, I will try to interview you again. I'm sure you'll put a sign in front of my face and then your goons will come.
Yep.
Moving on. Guys, Helen Keller is a fraud, obviously. Helen Keller allegedly is deaf and blind at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And then she also allegedly went to Harvard.
Flew an airplane.
And then was born in Alabama but has an English accent. Helen Keller also had like a handler type who was really...
Anne Sullivan or something like that, I think.
And they worked hand in hand. They worked in tandem. They were really working together to pull one over on us, to be honest.
That's the way I see it. Like, you have a handler. It's like, oh, Helen can only communicate through me. And it's like, she heard everything you just said. It's just too perfect.
And Helen Keller, born in Alabama, but then has an English accent. How could you have an English accent? If you were deaf, fine. Even if you weren't blind. If you were deaf, you still couldn't
even replicate.
You wouldn't even know what to replicate.
That's what I'm thinking.
So she's deaf, she's blind, she has an English accent. Even though she was born in Alabama, she flew an airplane. Imagine getting into the plane, look in the cockpit, and you see just Helen Keller like...
The pilot had set it up for her and his like arm on her shoulder, like, good, Helen. But you can't, you have to touch her hand. Say, go like this.
And it's like, you sure you want to like teach her how to fly, like learn a lesson with all these people on board?
Is this necessary?
So Helen Keller is kind of, in our mind, a fraud, doesn't make much sense. Also, Helen Keller, during her time, was kind of brought around and used to promote socialist things.
The ACLU and then...
The ACLU, and then also women's suffrage.
Yeah.
So we've seen how all those things played out.
She was a prop for not a good progress.
She was like a prop pawn. She was like a David Hogg, Greta Thunberg type.
But with even lower expectations.
Lower expectations, and it harder to prove she was a fraud because there's no social media or anything. So there's just like this legend that grows about her. And it was pretty, I think it was used, she was used and she deceived a lot of people.
I think so too. And then I think the story was useful to an extent to be like, blind and deaf people, they're just like us, obviously. Like back in the day, in her time, it was way less accepted. Mm-hmm. But it's a perfect thing to learn in third grade.
Yeah.
You know, it's a perfect thing to teach students in second grade about like kindness, acceptance, and whatever, you know?
Yeah.
So she kind of got propped up and then it's just lore now.
Next thing you know, we're going to say Rosa Parks was the same thing. I hope not. This is what happens. You look into the past.
Well, I think they do. There was someone else who, right? Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
There was someone else.
I don't want to get into it on the show, but
okay.
They do. Same with Martin Luther King.
For the record, for me, I have Helen Keller questions. I
You're a Helen Keller skeptic.
I'm doing it as there's 20% of it that's just a troll. I just want to see people get upset. But then there's a lot of questions that haven't actually been answered about Helen Keller.
Richard Rapoy is a Helen Keller skeptic. I, on the other hand, am a full-blown Helen Keller denier, and that is why I've created the Helen Keller Denier shirt available on shopfleckis.com. Get yours today. Use code HOAX for 20% off. Guys, be like me and Richard Rapoy. Buy these shirts and wear them around, and I don't know. I guess if people stop you,
conversation starter. I'm actually excited to wear it. Imagine you walk up to a coffee shop and you just wear, hey, large mocha or, large red eye with no cream. Helen Keller denier in the clearest font ever that you can't get out of. It's like, hey, what's the shirt about? Yep. Well, I'm glad you asked.
Exactly. And we've also upped the quality of the shirts on the website.
Yeah.
We went through all the shirts and upped them. So that's good news too. Things are expanding in the merch department, which is great. Helen Keller Denier shirt. Get it today. Shopfleckis.com. That's who's bringing you the episode. This episode is brought to you by Shop Fleckis and the Helen Keller Denier shirt available now.
I posted this meme before. If Helen Keller has 1 million deniers, I am one of them. If Helen Keller has 5 deniers, I am one of them. If Helen Keller has 1 denier, that one is me. So, we're having fun
Helen
with it.
Keller has no deniers. I'm dead.
Here's 2 things. All right. We're going to play the video of Helen Keller speaking with an English accent. Let that roll.
Here we go.
It is the attitude that I recommend in not
Suspicious.
Very.
And then if you go to the comments on that video, oh, wow, looks like a real Joe Biden situation here. Comments turned off on the Helen Keller channel.
Helen Keller fan club has the comments turned off.
They don't want debate.
What do they not want to hear or have people say?
And then as I was researching this topic, here's Helen Keller's signature. Too consistent.
Looks pretty good.
Too good. So I'm out. Helen Keller. I need some major proof. Major proof. And actually, I posted on my story once, like, do you believe in Helen Keller? And then I posted that Helen Keller denier meme. And someone DM'd me and was like, yo, I'm like Helen Keller's like great grandson.
Can you take that down?
No, he didn't say that. He was just like, I don't know. We've kind of heard it. We don't really know. Like, it didn't seem like there was a really strong oral tradition on what Helen Keller did in that family.
We do. We know what happened. And we're deniers for that reason. So shopfleckis.com.